And then I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so, all right. So if you made a website on the free version of WordPress, which means it has that .wordpress.com in it. First of all, one thing that you might need to just make sure of is that in your settings, you see how up at the top right here, it says coming soon. Well, down here in your settings on this tab, you need to switch it. Actually, if this is your first time, it'll have a button that says launch site. And if it's the free version of WordPress, importantly, when you click launch site for the first time, so since I had already done that, I can just go back and hit public and it'll be fine once I hit save settings. But for those of you that are doing it for the first time, that little launch site button is tricky and will try to trick you into buying WordPress. So what you do is you hit launch site, and then you have 2 more steps where you have to say launch with free WordPress anyways, besides the fact that it's going to offer you a few plans. So just keep that in mind if you're going to launch your site from WordPress. So if you got it through WordPress, whether you bought it through WordPress or you got the free version of WordPress, this is what it looks like from the back end. What I'm going to do before I show you how to use everything is show you how to install WordPress if you purchased your domain from a server that requires you to purchase WordPress. So, or sorry, not purchase, that it requires you to add WordPress. So for instance, GoDaddy, you can install WordPress, and I'm specifically using Reclaim Hosting. So another kind of piece of the picture is you can choose whether you use the main domain that you signed up for. So for instance, I have judithtlevy.com. That's just kind of like a little extended curriculum vitae for myself, and a little bit more personable kind of introduction to who I am. If you could use that as your website for this course, or you could create a subdomain like I do for these courses, core 302.judithtlevy.com. So I'm going to show you how to set up the subdomain, and then which you may or may not decide to do. Then I will show you how to install WordPress, which will be applicable no matter which way you go. So if you purchased through, hold on, I need to log out in order to show you. Okay. If you purchase through Reclaim Hosting, for instance, so if you purchase through Reclaim Hosting, for instance, and you go to log in, once you log in, it'll show you how many domains you have live, and I have another one that's live that I don't really use. When you want to go work on one, go to your cPanel. That's short for control panel. So I'm going to click my website in the control panel, and this is how I got to this back end with the application. So WordPress is what we'll come back to install WordPress later. And some servers will have other applications you can install, like this one, a Scalar, which is another type of website building. Then you have your domains, which gives you kind of the settings for adding subdomains and other options. So if you click on subdomains right here, once you create subdomains, like you'll see we have this core 302 for our class. I have a list of all the subdomains I've ever created, including the one for this class, right? If you ever create one and you don't like it, you can always delete it by going remove over here. But when you're creating it, all you have to do up here is enter what you want to come before your main domain name. So if I want it to be core 301 example, no, 302, sorry, 302 example. And then I click outside of this box, it'll populate down here with what the link would end up being. As soon as I decide I like that, I just hit create, and it'll create one with a green little, it'll say success, you did it right. And then you go back So everything that I'm showing you should hopefully help, even if you purchase from a different server, because it'll help you explore to see where to look for these types of things. Then you would want to go back to the control panel where you could either hit home, or you could hit these 9 squares in the corner. And then you go to your applications where WordPress is, which is where you would install the application for WordPress. And like I said, this is something that if you do decide to use your main, if you decide to create your own website, like judithlevy.com, and then create a subdomain for this course, Core 301 or Historical Perspectives or something like that, 302, Historical Perspectives or something like that, you would have to install this twice. You have to do what I'm doing 2 different times for each one if you want to use your main website along with your subdomain. So like I said, you can create your main website to play with on your own and do whatever you want. That's an option you have. And then just use the subdomain for this course. Or you can just create one and use it for this course. It's up to you. So what you want to do either way is hit install this application. And as you'll see, it pops up with the domain that I want to install WordPress on. So currently it says judithlevy.com, but that's my main domain, not my subdomain. So I want it to be on my subdomain because I already have WordPress on my main website. So if I just hit this drop down, it'll show all the ones that I've generated with options. And so I'll just come and find the one that I made for our course, Core 302 example right here. And as you'll see, sorry, on the top, as you'll see, there's actually 4 versions that I could create: HTTP or HTTPS. And then I can also choose whether it has www or if it doesn't. So the HTTP is versus HTTPS is a different, the HTTPS has one more layer of security, which gives you this little icon in the corner that with a little padlock, which makes people feel a little bit more comfortable when they're landing on their website. I honestly don't know what kind of coding is required to like add that level of security, and if it is like a super safeguard or not. I've seen HTTP websites that are totally safe as well, but if you want people landing on your website to have more comfort, get that HTTPS. And then the www versus no www doesn't make a difference, just makes a difference in terms of what your link looks like. So, so I'm gonna choose HTTPS with no www. That's just my preference. And then this blog that you add at the end is that they just give you automatically. If you see down below, it populates with combining these 2 to show what your link would hypothetically be once you're finished. But I personally don't like this blog option. I want it just to be the website. If you end up keeping the blog option, you got to keep in mind that that will be your link that will work for your website. Deleting that blog wouldn't work. So it's really important that you make your decision before you install. You might be able to edit this from the backend settings of WordPress if you dislike it later. But keep that in mind, that you need to be thinking about the link that will be working for getting people to your website. So then there are a few options, and these settings you can actually change from WordPress in the settings tab. So you can change, but you can choose them here if you prefer a different language, if you prefer different frequencies of updates and things like that. The other important thing you might want to change here is you might want to change your username and password. But there's another place you can also change this from the settings tab in WordPress. But if you want to log in immediately from outside of the server that you've purchased from, then you should change it now. If you want to start by logging in through the server and change that password later, that's okay too. So I'm going to change it now because I prefer to do that now. And then importantly, change the email that's associated with your with you that you want it to go to, if it's a different email. And then this website title and tagline you can change later, and I'll show you how. But I'm going to just change one of the 2 so that we see what it looks like when it changes immediately and where it lives. And I'll show you where and how to change that. So then once you've decided, go ahead and hit install, and it really only takes a few moments to install. Here's the one that's installing. Once it installs, I'll show you there's a few options for how you get to your site. So once it's created, which it doesn't look like it's finished, usually it has like a welcome thing here, which is weird. I don't know why. Let's see if it works. Once it's finished, you can use this link to click to go to your website. You can use this link with the -WP admin at the end of it to go and edit your website. So first I'm going to click to see if it's working, just to make sure. Yep, I knew there was something wrong. This is interesting. This glitch happened to me the other day. And so I just actually when I was setting up our class website. And so it'll be interesting that I'm going to try to go remember how I fixed it, because if anybody incurs the same error, it will be recorded. So that's nice. So basically what ended up happening was there was not a correct security certificate on there. So if I just go back to my control panel, sorry, this is a tangent. And then if I go down to security, and then I go, was it let's encrypt? Let's see if it was, hold on. STL. It was either this one or this one. Let's see if it was let's encrypt. Yeah, I think it was this one. Yep, it was. So I want to encrypt core 302 example right here. And so I just hit issue. And then I click issue. And it should work after that. Okay, then I'm gonna go back. See if it works. I'm gonna go back. So if you ever want to go back, it's WordPress. And then you go to My Applications is where you'll find all of the WordPress applications that you've installed. So once you've installed the first one on, if you install one on your subdomain first, or if you install it on your main domain first, you have to go back and install a second one, and you'll have one for each domain here. So let's see if this works now. Fingers crossed. Yes. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted though. I want this. Oh, that's core 302. Sorry, everybody. Okay, core 302 example. Let's see if it's working. Yes, it's finally working. So that did fix the issue that I had. I don't know what sometimes causes that glitch that I just had. I have 3 courses that I teach this semester, and it only happened for one of my 3 websites. And it's only happened those 2 times ever. And I've been using this server for a few years now. So I don't know why, but luckily it's now recorded. So if you want to visit your website there, you can go that way. Now, if you want to edit your website, you can go through the back end through here. And as you'll see, I'm going to move this over because we don't need it really, but as you'll see now, this looks almost the same as the free version of WordPress on the free site that I have too. I can hit dismiss and make this little welcome go away, or you can use this welcome to explore some of the things I'm telling you today and maybe explore a few more things. Now, like I said, if you're in your where you purchased your website from your server, you can get to the dashboard and get to editing it from here. You can also just type in the name of your website and, sorry, everybody. Type in the name of your website. So I can go core 302 example.judithtlevy.com/WP-admin. So this WP-admin will always get you to this login box that's right here. This login. So that's why I said you might have wanted to change your username and password to be able to remember it, is to enter through this way instead of always going to where you bought your website. So, everything I do from here on out is going to be almost identical between whether you bought your website or if you are using the free version of WordPress. I'll just kind of note a few times if on the free version of WordPress, there's options to buy things or not buy things, kind of a thing. Does anybody have any questions so far? Yeah. You did it too? Yeah, so that was, if you go back to the control panel. So I'm going to repeat this just because nobody can hear. In general, today I'm going to repeat questions because I'm recording it and the recording won't hear you. So the question was where to go for encryptions and issuing those encryptions. So you go down to the bottom in the security section, and then you hit this Let's Encrypt TM SSL. See it right there. Right there. And then you choose the domain that you're looking at. You see this issue a new certificate section, and then choose the one you're looking at and click issue. And it should say that it successfully did that. After that, you should be able to go back. Check. Other questions before I go into how to make posts and pages and stuff? Okay. So I'm going to start by talking about the appearance of the website. So it gave us this standard theme. Actually, the standard theme for the general WordPress is different. Did I make this public? Yes, I did. Okay. So okay, so on the main if you use a free version of WordPress, you get this boring blank website page template. And then if you bought it somewhere, they might have a slightly different version of the template of the boring one, but it's still pretty simplistic, right? So when you go back, whenever you want to go visit your site, first of all, you can just click up here and hit visit site. Same with free WordPress. You can go my site, there should be right here a place to click to view your site. And then you can also hit visit site right here. Now, if you're, in order to change what it looks like, click the appearance tab right here. And as you see right now, it only has themes and editor. That's because we haven't installed a new theme yet. Once we install a new theme, more options will come up. So these are the themes we have already installed. And this one is the one that is active. It says active right here. There's two ways to add a new one. You can click this add new, or you can click this big add new. So if I hit add new theme, there's a bunch of ways of browsing. You go popular, latest, favorites. You can even search themes. The biggest thing that is the difference between, I'm now on the free version of WordPress. It's still in the same place, appearance, themes, and I can still add new themes. However, as you'll see, as you browse through themes on the free version of WordPress, there's prices next to themes. Not all of them. See, this one's free, this one's free, this one costs $50. What you can do on the free version of WordPress is use this little tab to refine it to just free ones. And then you can just browse through all of the free ones available to you. So another thing you can do is you can search themes by topic. So one thing that I really want you to think about here is what kind of content you're going to have for this class and how you want your readers to encounter your content. So do you want something more visual with images coming up in order to get to your posts? Or do you want maybe like previews of what you have to say? So if I were to show you food bloggers are all very picture oriented because they want you to see it and get hungry, right? Which you don't get hungry as fast if you're just reading text. So if you see, all of these ones are very picture oriented. If I go back to, maybe if I go to popular themes, actually that's what it started with. If I go to writing, as you'll see, writing has different forms, right? So this one has a preview of the writing in it, but some of them are still picture oriented with a title on it. Some of them have little icons. Some of them have like little previews that slide through of different posts. And so there's a whole lot of options, but just one more I'll show you is commerce. Looks pretty different too. So commerce is definitely item oriented, right? So whether the item is something visual or whether the item is something that you want just like a little icon for, it changes around for that. So I'm gonna just do, let's see what favorite themes there are. Oh, these are my favorites. So you can also favorite them. Okay. Let's go to popular. And I'm just gonna scroll and find a random theme, but as you'll see, I'm gonna play with the theme as we go along, and you might decide that you want to change your theme because there's a setting that you do or do not like in any given theme. So I'm gonna choose this news one. I think it's pretty cool. There's pictures, there's a menu, there's little bits of writing over here. So I'm gonna install this. It's called Pixanews, and we'll play with it. Once you install it, you have to hit activate in order to make it go live on your page. So I haven't activated it yet. So just as a reminder, it looks like this now, right? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna go to my themes. I have the one that I just installed, Pixanews, and I'm gonna hit activate. Now that it's active, this is what our website looks like. So it immediately looks so different, right? This one already comes with a page, a sample page visual, actually comes with a menu. So keep that in mind for later. I'll get into menus. This one just already puts it up there for you. So one way to customize your theme is when you're on your main page, you can hit this little customize tab to get here, but there's other places to do it. The cool thing about WordPress is every WordPress has like 3 ways to get to any given setting. So you could get to it from clicking from your homepage. You can also get to it from when you're in your theme. Back end, you can hit customize right here and get to the same place. Or you can go to appearance and then customize. So within here, every theme has a certain set of settings, mostly for color, menus, widgets, and often a header, and maybe a header header photo. And then every theme will also kind of have its own that it does or does not add to this list. Some have more settings than others. Some you can change fonts, some you can't change fonts. Some allow you to put an image in the background, some don't. And the other one that it always has is homepage settings, which you can decide whether your homepage is where your blog posts live, which would be your reading responses, or if your homepage is maybe your about page at the end of the semester or something like that. Then we have the website. There's always an identity spot. I don't remember how it's theme support. Nope. Basic settings. That's not what I wanted. There's always somewhere in here a place to edit this core 302 and then the title. I'm curious why it's not homepage settings. No. Featured areas. Well, usually there's a identity spot, but there's another place I'll show you how to change the identity with the title in your settings. But homepage blog, nope. Okay. So header settings. Oh, here we go. It's site identity. So this theme, so the site identity setting is always in every customization of a theme that you install. But this one, it wasn't in this main one. It was kind of in the subcategory of header. So site identity is that title and tagline that I showed you could change, right? For whatever reason, it doesn't show, this one isn't showing that just another WordPress site, but what we can do is we can change it to core 302 explorations maybe we call it exploration in modern history. But for whatever reason, I don't know why we can't see that. You can choose whether you display it or not, right? You can take the whole title off. But since it's not showing the tagline on this theme, you could do this. Progress, modernity, and their obstacles, but that looks a little funky, which is why you might decide to install a different theme that does allow you to have a tagline, for instance. That's just one option of a reason that you might decide to change your theme is what you're seeing and what you don't see. So you can also change the image. I'll talk about why I'm using this website Flickr in a little while when we get to photos. But what I'm gonna do is just download a couple quick photos for use here. I'm gonna do one for the ocean since we had the sea as history. And then I'm gonna choose Creative Commons licenses, which I will talk about a little bit later. And then I'll choose an image of the ocean that I think is horizontal enough to be on that header. I'll hit download. And I'm going to go back and customize. So remember this, it says no, interesting. Some themes give you direct information about what's helpful to use on your header and some don't. Ooh, there's style 1 and style 2. Interesting. So this theme has 2 styles you can use. Apparently not all themes do, which it's unclear where that style, you choose that style. Theme support and docs. Interesting. I might change themes just because of that eventually, but I do want to show you what it looks like. Oh, here we go. Header style, desktop, header style, mobile. Aha. So there's 2 styles we have available to us. We obviously have this second version going. So I want to choose this first version to show you. And when I changed it, ooh, you have to hover your finger over it to see the Core 302, which I'm not sure why, but that's pretty interesting. Let's just save that for the heck of it and see if when we go to header, go to site identity. Okay, let's put see if this shows up. Modern historical question. No, it's not showing up. Okay, still not. All right. But if I go to header image, let's see. Ooh, it says that header image only appears in style 1. It doesn't appear when style 2 is selected. So I'm gonna go change that back. So wait, it said it didn't. It said it was only in 1. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm going to choose that image. And this thing that's popping up is actually what will always pop up for posts pages. And it also links to your media library. So if you already uploaded things, this media library will start to populate all the things you've uploaded before. If you hit select files, it'll open your file explorer. You also have the option to drag and drop from your file explorer, which into here. So I can actually drag the other things that I use for other, if I keep hitting upload, I can actually bring in some things that I used in my last classes. Or you can also upload by dragging and dropping from your download. So I'm going to choose this image of the ocean. And this one doesn't have like a cropping option, even though it says crop image. It's not like giving me a, oops, it's not giving me a selection kind of a square to kind of drag and choose how much I want to select, which some themes do, which means that I might not like the size of this when we get to it at the end. We'll see. There we go. Okay, so since it didn't let me crop that, it just chose the top kind of arbitrarily, but I still think it looks good, even though you don't know it's an ocean, it's now a sky. It still looks cool, and now we actually can see this Core 302. So what we now know is that this theme, when we go to header settings, Header style. Okay, well, at least for colors and fonts, we know that this has some sort of setting in it to change from white to red, which if we change color later to black and red or blue and red, it would show up when it has that white background. But it's kind of a game with each theme that you include. So we'll come back to what menus and widgets are over here. But I do want to install one other theme just so that I can show you kind of how it changes. I add a new theme. Actually, no, let's install a new theme after we've done a post. So as you see, this one has like an image space, and then posts have a little bit of words coming in as a preview. If you go to your dashboard, you can always edit your old posts and add new posts right here. You can also add them by going up to plus new and then choose post. I'm just going to go post because you'll see all of the ones that exist. So first I'm going to start by just editing this hello world one, because what I'll do is I'll create two. Edit. And there's a means of using this preview. I would definitely recommend using this preview, but so you can just edit this title to reading response. I'm gonna put, yeah, one, but basically you will have a more creative title than that. I'm just doing it for the sake of speed. And then here is some writing. About what we read. So you can just like go in and type in these blocks. You can hit enter and then just go to the next block and start with paragraph 2. However, you can also hit this plus button to add other types of content like images, quotes, videos, etc. But first, before I do that, I want to show you what it looks like now. You hit update. You go to the website. You see now it has the new title and then the text about it, but we still haven't added a photo. Now, if I go and I want to, I could click, another way to get to this is click reading response. And from viewing that page, this is what it looks like when we go into the individual page. And then I could hit edit post and edit it from here too. Now, importantly, I'm going to put a photo in here, but I'm not going to set it as the featured image and see whether it appears on the home page in that icon. So I'm going to hit plus. I'm going to hit an image. Now, if I ever want to see what else there is, I could hit browse all and choose and search or choose a variety of different things that I can include in this block. So later we'll be doing podcasts, audio. These are all the audio file options. You do it like this. You see that embeds a simple audio player, which is just that play in the line, which I would recommend for when we get to podcasting, but I'll give you a little bit more information when we get there. But for now, I'm just going to go image. And it'll give me a place to upload. Same thing, I can drag and drop, or I can hit upload and either choose from I can actually choose from what I already have on here or upload new files. So I'm going to embed these books. And then I'm going to hit update. And once we update it, it's taking a minute. Is it done? Okay, now that it's updated, go to our site, it's still not showing an image in this icon, right? But if we go into our reading response, it is actually showing it in the text. So that's because it's embedded within the text. It's not a featured image. So this theme allows your featured images to come up on the home page in that icon. So if I click edit post, on the right hand side over here, if I click this little settings, little tab right here, it comes up with a number of options. One of the options is the featured image, and you can click set featured image, and then make the books your featured image, and then I'll hit update. And then once I go to my website, that should pop up as the icon for this post. See, now we have this first reading response with that icon. And then if we go into the reading response, it still puts the featured image up at the top, just under the title. Some themes put it just above the title, but it appears again because we also put it inside the post. So that's another reason you might want to choose like different themes, is where that featured image comes. So I'll show you, I'll install another theme to show you. Appearance. Themes. I'm going to add a new theme. I'm going to do Simple Basics, I think, is the one that I use for our course website. And yep, it is. And so it's right here, and I'm going to hit install. And then I'm going to hit activate. And if you go to, ooh, now the featured image is huge, right? So it's definitely something we probably want the small version of that image because it's so big. But if you go into here, now for this theme, the featured image comes up before the title, right? And then we have what the text is. So that's another reason why you might decide to flip, change your appearance. So I'm going to go back to post and create one more post so you can see what it looks like to add a new post. You just click this add new right here, and then it'll be the same thing that we just did. Reading response to. Here. I'm going to hit publish. So as you'll see on this theme, it doesn't give you like a blank photo space with an icon for a photo there like the first one did. It just doesn't have the image. And so you can kind of choose from there if you want featured images or not. Now, if I go into this continue reading, actually, I'm going to do it from go edit this post. There's a few other things that are important. This little tab here for permalink gives you the link to this post. Some themes allow you to change the permalink. I don't know why this one isn't allowing me to, but also this little button will allow you to open it in a new tab. So it's just another place you can preview your post. And this is where you want to copy and paste the link to, say, your individual posts or even your website. Is if you hit, another way to get there is to hit preview and then preview in a new tab. And then copy and paste from here. So even when you're just sharing your website link by Wednesday and adding it to Canvas, you hit the visit site, and then you want to copy and paste from outside here in order to do it. Because if you copy and paste from the back end from your editor, it won't be the right link for me. I'll have to have login credentials in order to access it. So just make sure you do that. And another way to safeguard and check that could be to copy and paste the link into an email, send it to yourself, check it on your phone, check it somewhere where you're logged out. So whether it's your phone, whether it is a different browser on your computer, whether you're sending it to a friend, any of those things might be options to make sure that your link is working and that you're using the right version. So I'm gonna edit this reading response and just talk a little bit about pictures for a minute. So let's say we want a picture of, let's just see what comes up when we search Europe. And the reason why I like Flickr is not only do you have this option to choose the license, when you choose Creative Commons or any license, it gives you more details about the type of license you can use and whether the type of license it is in a really user-friendly way, and tells you how you can use it, and what is required to use it if you do decide to use it. So Creative Commons means that it's available to the public in some sort of way, but there's sometimes details within that. So if I say I want Europe, but only Creative Commons, and I really like this picture right here, which is gorgeous. Now, not only do I have the license, I have the name of the person who uploaded it here. I have their title, right? And then actually it even has the date it was taken, which is great for MLA and or Chicago style citations. But then right here, there's some rights reserved. Is this little spot that tells you exactly what license it is. So if you click on it, it tells you the license, but we don't know what Node-RED 2.0 generic CC BY ND 2.0 means. That's complicated, and you have to be like a copyright law to really get what that means. So they break it down for you. You are free to share it. Now this one says you're not free to adapt it. So you can't make a meme out of it, for instance, right? But a lot of them will say share, you can share and you can adapt. And here are the terms you have to attribute. And no derivatives, right? Which no remixing, right? No memes, bummer. But that's it. So I'm not gonna remix this one. So I will download it. Flickr is also cool because it gives you options for the size that you download. And then I'm gonna go back to my site and put it into my reading response. An image, and then I'm going to upload it by going to downloads and picking this one. It's a huge image. So another cool thing is that once you add an image to your page, this little thing pops up, which gives you information for how to edit it. So you can change the alignment. So say a really cool thing is I can just shrink it really easily by going like that. Boop, boop, small now, but it's aligned to the left. And if I don't like that, I can just go center. Oh, wow. It just wasn't done loading. So let's do this again. While it's loading, I want to show you that it has an area where you can add a caption if you would like to add a caption. So that's one place you could do an additional citation for this photo, but you will still need an end citation for this photo. If you took me last semester, that's something I'm changing where I'm still requiring the end citation in either MLA or Chicago style format. But here we can add Taking a Break by Daryl DeHart. Wonder if I start editing it, if it's going to boot me from it again. Let's see. Whew. Okay, it is going to boot me from it. I don't know why this image is taking so long to load. Okay, what I'm going to do is stop doing this here. I'm just going to hit update, and then I'm going to do this in a page. So basically, I will show you how to create a page. It's almost the same thing as creating a post, but it just lives in a different place. So if you go back to your dashboard and you go to pages, you'll see from the back end, it looks just like the way that the posts look. So they already gave us two. I'm going to trash this privacy policy one. And I could edit the sample page, or I could trash it as well. I'm actually going to go trash it. Let's go back. Or I could hit switch to draft. That way it doesn't actually live on our website visually. I'm going to add a new page. I'll add one for our about page, which will be by the end of the semester. Here is a bit about this website. And then I'm gonna add that image here and see if it works. Hopefully it will work. Also, save draft is right here. It's always good to save your work as you're going. Or you might opt to write everything in Microsoft Word and then copy and paste it in here later, depending on what works best for you. But also, if you don't think you're going to remember to hit save, that's a good idea. So let's see if this, okay, so this got saved to our media library successfully. So let's see if I can put it in. Yes, good. Okay, now I can put it in. Now I can edit it. And maybe I want to change the alignment to center. And maybe I want to add a caption. This piece is called Taking a Break by, what was their name? Daryl DeHart. And a cool thing that you can do, whether it's in photos or anywhere else, is you can copy the link and then paste it right here. And so now this becomes a link. So just using this little link icon, you can make any text a link. So go to this post to learn more about this. So say, I'm gonna save, I'm actually gonna preview in a new tab so that way I can get to the website. So I can go here. So if I go to reading response 2, copy and paste this link, and then go back here, say that this post that I'm referring to in my about page is reading response 2, and I have copied the link from it. I just hit this link button, paste the link, and I go here, and now it'll automatically link to reading response 2 when you're on my about page. Internal linking is great for SEO, actually, if you want to get search engine optimization. But that's just a fun extra bit that if you ever want to dive deeper, I'm happy to talk about that stuff. So now we have your about page. Now let's go see if this about page automatically populates into a menu or not. We might need to create our own menu. Let's see. Depending on the theme, it may or may not automatically add that about to this part of your website for a menu. If it doesn't do that, here's how you do it. You go back to your dashboard, you go to appearance and then menus. You would create a menu. So it says create your first menu below. So this one, I'm just gonna say it's called primary menu. And then I'm gonna say, do I want it to have a link back to home? Maybe I do, maybe I don't, because actually on that website, it allows you to hit the title and go back home. A lot of people know that on blogs, but not everybody does. So maybe I'll leave it as home. And I'll hit create menu. So this one already had these two. I'm gonna add another page so that you can see how to add things to your menu. Add new page. I'm gonna call this podcast. And then I'm gonna, in my first block, type description of podcast theme. I'm gonna just write in parentheses podcast audio. I don't have an audio file to add. And then I'm gonna say transcript. Hit publish. And let's see if it goes on our menu or not. Okay, this theme automatically adds it here to your menu, which is awesome. If it doesn't automatically add it, you have to go menus. You have to go, oh, interesting. So it doesn't have it over here. So what you would do is select the menu you're working on. And then go over here and select podcast and hit add to menu. Now, if you wanted to always add your new pages to that menu and don't have to keep doing that manually each time, you can click this auto add pages right here and then hit save menus. So basically it's automatically adds new top level pages to this menu. Let's see if I'm missing things. Okay, do we have any questions before I move on? Cool, so what we've done so far is we've covered all the things that you need to know just to set up your website for the sake of our course, in terms of the fact that your reading responses will be posts, your larger assignments will be pages, and then you can decide how you want to customize your own website in terms of colors, etc. That's all up to you. Now, the only thing, I'm not grading you on quality of what your website looks like. I don't expect you to be an expert, right? The one thing that I do want you to think about is that your about page will be implicitly talking about who your audience is, and kind of implicitly, right? So not literally stating it, but it'll talk about the purpose of your website. And so it should kind of, it would be the place where you think about all of the things that you've done, all of the changes you've made visually, and combine them with what you've written for this course in terms of thinking about how your website is one cohesive space. So I won't be grading you on expert level website skills, but I will be grading you on the idea of creating some sort of cohesion on that about page assignment. I don't grade for that type of thing in the other assignments for this course. So the rest of the things I'm going to show you will be for fun. So I'm going to tell you about two different things, widgets and plugins. Widgets, if you go to our core website for this class, you'll see the like little section on the right-hand side with upcoming deadlines. That's a sidebar widget. That's just a list that I added. Similarly, this week, I just was like, let's add PD just for fun. I got a little GIF in there. And so what I, if you want to go back to your dashboard, you could go back to your dashboard first, or you could go to widgets right here to edit it. You could also go to customize. And then go to widgets here, right? Which has all of the different areas, sidebar, footer, depending on where you want your widgets to live. Or from your dashboard, there's actually in appearance, there's widgets right there. So once you get to the widgets, this is the sidebar you can see right here, which location you're working in. And so I could actually go in here, and it works a lot like the original editor that I was showing you for posts and pages, where you just backspace all the sections that you don't like and delete them. And then you can add new ones by choosing what you want to add. So it's a list. And you can also move things up. I don't like this list being at the bottom. I want it at the top. Say, let's see. Obviously, this is not required, but this is just if you want to kind of push further and do more fun things. I think you can still link this to a post, right? But there are some other options, like it has archives for or recent posts and recent comments. I don't really think that you need recent comments on here, but once you start posting things, it might automatically add them to your widget. If your widget is like from that theme, if your widget from that theme is set up to already have something like recent posts. I'm just going to update it and show you what it looks like now. So here we go. Now we have this little text bar on the side of what each piece of the semester made me realize. For instance, widgets Widgets are the exact same in free WordPress as they are in WordPress that you pay for. The other feature that I'm going to show you that is slightly different in each is plugins. And plugins, you can still access all the same plugins from free WordPress versus the pay for website. But if you pay, you're likely to have access to more plugins for free, or like basically because you already paid. So not necessarily free, right? So if you go to the plugin that I'm going to show you today is available for free in the free version of WordPress as well. There are many plugins and many things you can do with them. I, for instance, have installed a plugin on a different website for creating an event calendar where you can go and see the calendar and then you can click and learn more about each event. You can also use them for embedding PDFs or PowerPoints into your website. And then you can also, the one that I'm going to show you today is for an alternative way of building your pages and posts that you might find more user-friendly for you. And it just depends on whether you're a visual person or not, and if you like kind of drag and drop functions. So if you go to plugins, it's a lot like themes where you can hit add new and you can install new plugins. So the one that I'm gonna show you today is called Elementor, Elementor. And Elementor just changes the visuals when you're building posts or pages. So if you hit, I'm gonna hit install, and just like themes, when you install it, you also have to hit activate. So you always have this list here of your plugins when you go to this plugins page. And so you can always check whether something is activated or deactivated. But now that I've activated it, I'm going to go to a post and show you how it looks different. So if I go to edit my reading response 2, now I have this option up here of edit with Elementor. And if I go to edit with Elementor, it's going to bring me to a different kind of backend editor that actually shows the changes as you make those changes. Like it shows what the preview as you go. So hit edit with Elementor. It always takes a minute to load. And then now you can see your website as you're changing it. I can go here and I can actually just drag an image in here and then start editing what image that is from here. But it still has all the same functionality as regular WordPress, linking to your media library, all the same options of different types of content that you can install, or not install, but put in your text like videos, etc. Now, one thing I will tell you is, first of all, you have to like kind of search around to see where the different options are, like saving the draft over here, and updating is down here. So I'm just going to add an image and then hit update. But I will say that if you go between using, you have to hit these 3 bars to go exit back to your dashboard. One thing is that if you use this edit with Elementor and you already have, like if you started building in the block editor that comes with WordPress and you have a lot of content in there, and then you hit edit with Elementor for the first time, and there's already content, in translating it to Elementor, it might make things look a little different, or you might lose some content. So if you decide halfway through writing that you want to switch from the original block editor to Elementor, that like, which you can always do right here with this back to WordPress editor, I would recommend saving your content outside of your website first, because I've had a few people make that switch back and forth in the middle of drafting and not be able to access something, or something just moved and looked different. But if we go back to the WordPress editor, I think there was one more. See, please note that you are switching your current layout, content might break. So I'm going to hit continue because I didn't do a lot, so it's fine. But one other thing that I forgot to show you is how easy it is to embed videos into your posts, whether you're using Elementor or the block editor. So I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to write, we're going to read Edward Glissant for Monday. So I'm going to go get a video of Edward Glissant being interviewed. Oh, wow, this whole, Wow, looks like he has a whole lecture or something on here. That's really cool. Pause. I think I've seen this many years ago, but anyway, this is cool. It might be in French, not sure, but um, but if you just copy and paste the link from YouTube and then go into a new block as if you're about to start writing, like one option is to go here and choose video, but it's actually way easier than that. If you're going straight from YouTube, you just paste the link and it embeds the video. It just automatically recognizes it. So it's super easy, super cool. So just keep that in mind that editing now, if I edit with Elementor, we'll see if it stays the same or if it changes at all. And like I said, this one just lost the video that I had added because I switched to Elementor. So just keep in mind, you probably want to play around with whatever block editor and then decide to stick with one. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. I'm gonna make sure I didn't forget anything. Yeah, I think I covered it all. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and stop recording.